Everyone, good afternoon. Let me know if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Okay, can someone just say I can hear you? I want to be sure you can hear me. Good afternoon. Can someone just say I can hear you? Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Please, can someone say I can hear you? I just want to be sure I can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Sally. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's get started. I hope you've had a great week. Now, I'm going to tell you how today is going to go. Let me tell you how today is going to go, and thereafter, we will take off. First and foremost, to start today, we're going to look at what we call aggregate functions. Aggregate functions. And after aggregate functions, we're going to go in and look at, so I gave you aggregate functions already. We're going to look at how to insert, how to update, and how to delete a table or something. All right, got that? Now, the next thing we're going to look at is just quickly pop my screen. So aggregate functions. We're also going to take the time to review the code I shared with you guys on the group. So let's have fun doing this. Okay. The first thing I've kind of, to make today's work really easy, I've actually kind of written out the codes, then I will discuss it with every one of us. Now, to add to it, next week, Saturday, I will be coming to your class. I will be having an in-person session. So during the in-person session, just to let you know, I will take a lot of question and answers. I will also be discussing with you how to begin to build your profile. And then I'm going to also show you how to, there are loads of ways to begin to get to land your first job if you build a decent profile. Yeah. So I will do that in the last day on Saturday. If I should be able to be there. I think I must be there, all things being equal. Okay. Having said that, I think we are ready to start. Okay, good. Now, first thing, good afternoon. Okay, here we are reminding you about the exercises you promised. Yeah, Abubakar, yes, I will send it. Yeah, I know it kind of gets a bit here and there for me with work, but I will send everything I promised. Yeah. Before the last day, you will get everything I promised. All right, cool. Let's get into work today. First and foremost, I promise we'll be starting out with aggregate functions. Now, there are 5 aggregate functions, and the word aggregate means to put things together, to look at things in a holistic form. Yeah? Whenever you want to look at things in, or look at a data in some form of a holistic form, we call it an aggregate. Yeah. For instance, if I want to sum all the ages of everyone in this class, it means I will get all the individual ages, add them together, and take a sum. Now, if I want to count all those who are in this class at the moment, that's also an aggregate. I could also be looking at the minimum age of everyone in this class. Or I could go ahead and look at things like the maximum age, or we could even look at the average age of everyone in this class. Any of these 5 functions is called an aggregate function. Yeah. Now, I put the aggregate function in the work I shared with you guys, so that's why I am putting it out here to discuss. Now, the first thing we're going to do for today is the code starting on number 9. which says select asterisk from product. When we use the word asterisk, just a quick reminder, what does it mean? It means everything. And then let's run that code. Okay, you and me can see, even though I have, okay, before I go ahead, I'm going to go back and alter this. Let me alter this code to be what you guys have on your own sheet. So I'm going to recreate that stuff, the database, because I've messed it up. So I'm going to recreate this database. Awesome. All right, cool. Now, if we run the code, that the very first code I was telling you about, so this is what all of you have on your system. If you run this code, so that I would have something that looks exactly like what you have on your plate. So this is what it would look like: a product ID, foam, plate, count, unit price, and what have you. All right, so you can scroll down. You can scroll down to really see everything that there is. There are 10 products in there. Now, take for instance that you just wanted to have an idea, and you see it's 10. There are 10 rows in here, which is pretty easy for you to see and engage with. Now, not all databases have 10 rows. Some have their in hundreds of thousands of rows, and some have millions of rows. Some even have 90-something thousand rows. It varies depending on the organization that you work for and the kind of data, the load of data they collect. Now, so let's say that you just want to have a quick insight about the number of entries in these data sets. It's pretty easy. So what you go with is select. You see, I brought an aggregate function called count asterisk from product. You select this and you run it. Now, when you run this, you can see that that itself gives you what? There are 10 entries here. In this, in a more data term for it is 10 tuples, T-U-P-L-E-S. Yeah? All right. Now, so this counts the number of tuples or the number of rows in the data set. But you and I agree that most times you are not particularly interested in counting the number of tuples in a data set. You may want to count something like how many males are there. How many of my customers are males? How many of my customers are what? Are females. Abi? You also may want to count how many states are represented in this conversation. Yeah. Where are my customers? They come from how many states across the country? Now, a good way for you to do that is for you to quickly have something like this. So you have select distinct count. Look at this. Select distinct. The word distinct there means that, remember when we did count distinct in Tableau, the word distinct there means that every state will not repeat itself. So if you have two of your customers that come from a state like Lagos State or Niger State, it will count Lagos once. After it counts Lagos once, it's not going to count it again. Are you there with me? Okay. Now, so let's see this. Now, before we go into that, maybe sometimes it's always good for you to see the data first. Then you make sense of it. So I'm going to select this and paste it here again. I'm going to just say, let's explore. Explore this. So explore the customer database. Run it. There's an error there. So select from customers. Why do we have an error? Okay. Select limit customers. Okay, we are in the wrong database. So We're in the wrong database. So let's go to the right database. Go activate the database. Yeah, so we have the right one now. So let's see. Select all from customers. Why do I have this? Okay, there you go. Now, again, if you have problems going through all these, you could just, like I often would do, set the database dot customers. I often love this more because particularly when I want to do a number of things. Yeah. Okay. Now, having said that, you can look and see, look at this. Let's scroll through it together. Let's see the number of entries. It's just 10. Of the 10, we have MA, we have VA, we have CO, we have Florida, we have Texas, Illinois, Tennessee, Florida. I think there is 2 Floridas here. Yeah? Cool. Now, if we flip this, now we have 2 Floridas, meaning that a state repeats itself. Okay? Now, if we flip this and say select distinct state, select this and then run it. Now look at this. What would you see here? It selects all the distinct states. And when it selects distinct state, it does not repeat Florida. Now, if you want to go ahead and check if that is true, put the count function here. So count all the distinct states you've selected. And let's see how many number of states we're going to have. What did we miss? Select count distinct states from customers. That should work. All right, look at that, 9. Yeah? Okay, that is 9. So it means that if you actually look at the states, there were 9 states actually, because Florida repeated itself twice. Okay, should we try some more things? For those asking for us to go over last class, I'm sure you've not watched the video more than once. Trust me. Let's try something where I'm going to copy that stuff. Greater than 2. So I want to select all. Where are you? Look at this. Yeah, remove these. Yeah, cool. Now, select all entries from customers where count distinct states greater than 2. Now, let's explore this. What's that? Show us where we've got an error. Where count distinct state equals to 2 from customer, where count distinct state equals to 2. Invalid user group function. Okay. Let's try. I didn't want to introduce this down, but I would have to quickly introduce it. Okay, I'll come back to introducing this. So I'll just pause it for now. I'll come back to this. Now, the next thing that we've done, so basically first you've seen how we use this, and you've seen how we've used count this thing to get our way around stuff. Now let's look at the next one. We want to look at this. We said select order. Sum. Now this is us using an aggregate. This is us using an aggregate. But you see, this aggregate is a composition of more than one field. We have the quantity field and we have the what? Unit price field. Now, how do I know that? We are in, where are we in? Other items. So this is other items. Let's look for that table. Table fetching. Okay, this is coming up. While it's coming up, we can actually pull it out so that we can pull it out. Let's pull it quickly out. Let's explore what the other item table looks like. It's loading, but I wouldn't wait for it to load. So let's explore it. This is what the other item looks like. Look at this. It has an order ID, a product ID, a quantity, and a unit price. Now, if you've seen that, what we are now trying to do is we want to see all the order IDs, and then we want to compute for each order ID. If you look at the order item, this order ID 1 had one product. Look at it with me. Order ID 2 had 3 products. So the person who ordered this one ordered 3 products in it. All right. The person who ordered order item, the third order had only 1 item. And then the 4th order had 2 items, which is item 3 and item 10. Are we there? And then the 5th order had only 1 item. Okay. Now, what we are trying to ask this young man to do for us, we are trying to tell it, give us order item, and then compute the cost it took to buy it. So select order item, sum this times this, which is we're summing this, we're multiplying this by this, and then summing it. So for each, so it won't reveal these twice. I'm going to show you. Let's do it one after the other. I'm going to do this first. I'll take this off. So I'm going to take this off, leave it that way. So I'm going to select this and I will do this. Cool. Now you see, if you did this, what you are going to have there is order 1, how much was spent? Order 2, how much was spent? You see, order 2 had 2 different products. So you could as well bring in this one. Are we there? The product ID, select this. So that you can see it for yourself. I'm going to select this and I will run it. Are you there? So you see, this product is how much we spent. That product, that is how much we spent. Now, but this is not the idea. I want to be able to see for each order, how much did the person actually spend for each order? Yeah? So let's try to give that, let's explore that a bit. Now, what we can do here is put the sum, open a bracket, and then close the brace. Close it. Now, we're going to explore this again. So I'm bringing in a new, so hold on, I'm bringing in a new entry. All right. So this is, so sum these as these from order items, order by order ID. Okay, now let's try this. Now, let me explain what happened there. Stay with me. Again, remember, this is just comments, so I can take this off. Huh? I can take it off. So what I said, again, it depends on the level of details you are trying to acquire. I said select order ID, sum it by what? So multiply the unit price by quantity as what? Total agent, total spend. So this is total spend. Now, from other items, that's the table we're drawing this from. Now, but I've introduced an interesting field here called the group by field. Now, what I'm trying to do here is aggregate each order. You remember when we had the first step? Maybe I should just go back and do that again. So if you do this, you have this, so you can take this off. So you see, there is only one order: order 1, order 2, order 3, order 4, order 5, order 6, order 7. So they are just 10 orders. And this is what each of them cost us. Now, when we did it at first, the system kept that result for us from these. The system kept this result for us by what? The system kept that result for us at individual products. I'm just going to do that one more time. So I'm going to take this off order item. I will take the group ID off. So watch this now. I'll select this, run it. Now I have to take this off. Some, you can use some without bringing in. So, yep, there you go. So I'm going to select this, run it. At this level, the system had to select order ID, total spend, but broke them down by what? Products. Because at this level, we're looking at it, we're trying to get by individual products. Even if you bring product ID here, you will be correct. Yeah? So you'd see the system has two twos, and triple twos orders. So you can as well pick this up and run it. Select, come on, man. So yeah, product ID, there's a comma. Man, stop scrolling. Okay, so I'm selecting this one more time and I'm running this, and you can see order 1, 4 product ID. It breaks this down by each product ID. However, if I don't want to break down by product ID. I actually want to see each order, each product, each order by the cost that it took. So to get that done, you have to use order ID, you sum it. Now, whenever you use aggregate functions, there is something you have to do. You have to use the group by combination. So when you use this other function, which is an aggregate function, this sum function, you are now required to order it. If you don't order it, you have to also add if you want to use like a conditional statement, I'm going to show you one today using the where clause. So if you select this and run it, I hope you can notice the difference. I don't know if someone is seeing the difference. Why the sum they're seeing? Can you see the difference seeing that you are multiplying? Okay, good. Nkechika, first and foremost, you need to understand the two different things that we've done. In the first one, yes, you were multiplying. Order ID, product ID as total spend. So look at this. If you select this and you run it, what does it give you? Order ID, and then it gives you this same order. You see, some orders that have more than one item. So some orders have more than one item. Yeah. So this will what? Break down each order by what? Yeah, I think she understands now. By each item. Now, but if you take this other one, I'm not trying to break down each order by each item. Whereas what I'm trying to achieve is to sum it so that each order will give me the full cost. So you take this and you run it, and you have each order giving you the full cost of what you achieved. What are you multiplying? You are multiplying unit quantity by unit price. So where did you get quantity from? Let's go to the order table. This is the order table. Look at what the order table looks like. It has a quantity that you bought, and there is a unit price for everything you bought. Okay? Now, that's a little about, what do you call it? That's a few things we can talk about the word aggregate function. Now, let's go back to the code I shared with you guys, and then let's discuss this code together, because there is some aggregate functions in it. Now, look at this code I shared with you guys. So it says select c.customer ID. I hope you understand what each and every one of these this means, because you are declared customer with an alias of C. You had also declared orders with an alias of O. And also you declared order items with an alias of OI, and you declared products with an alias of P. Okay? Now, C.customer ID, C.first name. So these are the things you are drawing from. The fields you are drawing, and the what from the database that you are drawing it from. So C.customer ID, C.first name, C.last name. We're drawing all of these from the customer table. Now the next thing we're looking at here is count, the aggregate function. So we're saying the count is what? We're going to be counting how many orders. What are we trying to achieve? We want to count how many orders did a particular customer buy. So let's say in this class right now, how many orders would each classmate have made? 1 order, 2 order, 3 order, 4 order, and all of that. Yeah? So let's go to it. So we are counting your number of orders and then putting it as what? Number of orders. If you noticed, this thing means it's a comment. Remember the comment idea. So this means this is a comment, which I could pull off if you don't want to. Again, it's unnecessary, but it's just kept as a placeholder to see if you understand what's going on. So I could pull it off. It has no real meaning to that code. Yeah? The next thing is we're going to be looking at other items. I'm pulling 2 things from other items. One of them is quantity. The other one is unit price. We're going to multiply these for each customer. You see, these things are all in like 4 different tables. So we are actually joining 4 different tables here. 4. All right, cool. Now we're going to do that and put the answer as what? Total spent. Likewise, we're going to be counting the number of products. You know why? One order could have more than one. One order could be more than what? More than one product. So we are going to count these as total products. Now, the last one is maximum order date, which is like we're looking at the date, the last order that you made. Yeah? Again, we can as well do this. Copy this and repeat it like minimum order date. So, and we can call that first order date. Are you there? Okay. So where is the first database from? Customer. Yeah. Now, the customer database. The second one, the customer table. Where is the second one from? Join that to what? Orders database. What is the link or the parameter by which we will use to join them? Customer ID on the customer side against customer ID on the other side. Again, you are free to check. Let's go to it. Let's go to it so that you see how whatever we're doing means. So I'm going to pull this. I'm going to write here first. Let's look at customers and orders so that you see what we're talking about. So I'm going to select this and run customers. Look at this. Every customer table has a customer ID. Can you see that? Now let's see what first name. These are the things it has. Now, if you look at this table, try and pay attention to this table. Pay attention to this table. When you're done paying attention to this table, I'm going to open a new table for you. It says orders. Now you see in the orders table, there is also a customer ID here. I don't know if you can see that. There is a customer ID here. So it means that every order had a customer that ordered it. Every order had a customer that ordered it. Does that make sense? Okay, now, so the basis to join customers and orders will now be what? Natural. The basis is customer ID. So when you look at this, I'm going to open it again. We use customer ID on one end and then the same customer ID on the other end. Now, very good. Now, if you remember something, you know, this thing also, this would work, but this thing also would work. Remember, just reminding you guys of the things we've done before, using. You know this code, using? We introduced this code, I think, in our last class. Because the name, I put it on as a comment now because I don't want to use it yet. Because the name here and the name here are similar, you can bring in the using clause. All right? Now, then we now do a left join. Now, why did we do a left? The question is, why did you do a left join here? I know it's a bit, see, if you were there in the first class, I said something to you guys. SQL is a logic language. Yeah. You have to think through the logic to be able to make sense of what is being given. Yeah. If you don't think through the logic, you won't appreciate it at all. So now, why did we do a left join? And that was why I shared it in the group, because I wanted every one of you to try to think first. Yeah, to think around it. Why did we do a left join? A left join is happening between what? Customers and other items. Because there are some customers that may not have ordered items. Yes. So you don't want to lose that information. You want to preserve that information. Yeah? So you use the left join. So whether a customer ordered an item or not, preserve his identity on our database. He's still a customer. One day he will order an item. So that's why you see we use the left join. Yeah. All right. The next thing there is the condition between the left join is captured. Then we joined it to product. And then we establish the condition between all of these joins. All right, let's go. Where we're saying that whatever this is, whatever we are going to be pulling, should be the condition for that is that it should be between what? The order date should be between this date and that date. Okay, there are a lot of aggregate functions on this. So we wanted a way to, again, we want to see this data in respect to the customer. We could see this data in respect to the orders. We could see it in respect to the products. But in this case, we wanted to see it in respect to the customer. I'm going to explain that when we run the code. So you see, this again is a comment. I've commented this out. So it's just a noise at that point. Now, you see the having clause. The having clause is actually similar to the where clause. I hope that makes sense. The having clause is very similar to the where clause. However, the having clause is used for aggregate functions. So you cannot use a where clause, like you cannot put a aggregate function on a where clause. It won't work. Yeah, I could do this for you. I'm going to take these off, copy this. So I will take this off for now. And I'm going to do this. So I want to say where. You see, that's an aggregate function I'm bringing there. That count. If you run this code, you would have an error. It's an error instantly. Are you there? However, you even stand a chance for this to work if it was just this. If it was without the where clause. But the reason why this won't work is that there needs to be a group by clause. So I'm going to take this off. Now, it's a very long code, so I know that you might have yourself into a lot of trouble, but stay with me and don't worry. So where group by this, having this. So group it by customer, having. Again, I'm saying heavy, most of us are. I would suggest you share the material and information on the platform which is locked. It will enable us to see what you share without scrolling many messages. Okay, I don't know what you're saying, Jide. I shared the materials with every one of you. I don't know if you can't find it. Okay, please let me not get distracted with that. Okay, so back to what I'm trying to say. Having says, I said having is very similar to the where clause. However, the having clause supersedes the where clause because it can deal with aggregate functions. Yeah? So this is an aggregate function here. Are you there? And because it's an aggregate function, where cannot manipulate this. So you use the having clause. Now, we also have another aggregate function here. Look at where it's coming from, total spent. It's an aggregate function. Total spent is an aggregate function. So where did I put it? We put it on the on having again. Don't forget, having is a filter and works similar to the where clause. However, because it works only on what? Aggregate functions. I hope I've made myself clear. Then you say order by total spent. Now I'm going to run this for every one of us to see. Now look at this. First and foremost, what we ask for, customer ID, first name, number of orders, total spent, what's the next one? Total product, last order date, first order date. So you see for this guy, Elka, can you see Elka, his last order was in 2019, January the 30th. However, his first order was in 2018. I hope you can see where we're going. Yeah. You cannot replace Shaggy, you can't replace where with having. No, I said having is a bigger boy to where clause, because the having clause actually works primarily on aggregate functions. You see, everything I put on the where on the having clause were aggregated computations. Yeah, aggregated functions. Look at that again. So it will make sense to you if you look at that. So I don't put normal things on where I'm on having. I put only aggregated functions, but they are similar because they are actually all filters. Okay. Now let's look at Levy. Levy minute, his first order and last order. So it means he had one order. Let's look at number of orders. Levy had number of 4 orders, but all of his orders were on the same date. This Levy guy. Yeah. Look at this guy, Ines. Ines had only one order, so it's the same date too, because it's one order. Yeah. Now, what else can we? So we've seen it selected all of these and pulled them from the different databases or the different tables they belong. Yeah. Used an appropriate join for them. Yeah. And if you look again, look at the condition here, where. Again, I want to remind you, where is a filter. So if you look at this, you would see that the where clause is between 218 and 219, 31st December. So nothing here, order date, nothing here will exceed that order date. If you look closely, nothing here will exceed that order date. I hope that makes sense. Nothing here would exceed that order date. We can as well change this thing and say, flip it and say order date greater than, meaning we are empowering it to do a lot more. Let's try and run this. So you could change your where clause. You see, the where clause is a single field. It's not an aggregated data. Now, what else do we see here? It groups everything by customer ID. So you see, only one, each customer, it aggregates number of orders, 3. So there are 3 orders for that customer. So it aggregates everything at the level of what? Customer ID. Does that make sense? Now, you may say, no, I'm not very happy with the way this thing is done. I want to aggregate everything at the level of what? Product ID. There's an error there, and we might need to figure out where the error is coming from. So let's see. There is no product ID here, so that might not be, it's in the aggregate function. So I might want to play around with something else. Again, when it comes to codes that are this long, you need to think around them, watch, because you could make a little mistake and everything messes up. So think around them, because, yeah, I have now said, okay, I want to order this conversation in the light of what? Order ID. So let's see the order ID. Customer ID is here, number of orders are here. So we can as well use that to group whatever conversations that we have. Okay. Now, for now, because of what I'm trying to achieve, I will just listen in. If there is a good question on that chat, I will answer. Because I gave you guys a chance to go over this so that you can ask any good question. If there is any good question on the chat, please throw it at me. I'm very much happy to answer them. Can we replace the where clause? Sir, could you please explain join operators again? Victor, no, I won't. I sent you guys a video after Saturday's class. Go and check that video. There's loads on that video. Had it been we were taught one syntax after the other, we would have learned better by now. Abubakar, apologies. I've been showing you one syntax after the other. I'm sure you have not been watching your video. I want to point out something I noticed running this query. Please, Shaggy, I would like to hear those who tried something. I want to get feedback from those people before I move something else. You see, if I send you work and you guys don't do the work, you can't blame it on me. Yeah, tech is your responsibility. So if you are not taking responsibilities, there is little I can do. I've been talking to the class for 1 full week, sending codes repeatedly and waiting for those who will make an effort at studying the code. Everybody who reacted to that code, you can attest that I answered you back. So I knew what I was doing. Please use the use of C and P in the code again. Al Mustafa, you watch the previous video I sent to you first before I speak to you. I can't answer questions I've already taught, and I've sent you guys a video for. I will only answer questions that I haven't sent you and given you enough materials to arm you. All right? Okay, I want to go and have the next conversation now. While I'm waiting for your messages to drop fast, let me go and hit on a few more things before we go. Please pay attention to the things I drop on the group. We only have 1 week. After 1 week, we'll all be away from each other again. And then please pay attention to the videos I share with you. I try to lump in a lot of things there. What is the difference between order by and group by? Okay, I'll give you an answer. When you use the word order by, let me show you something here. Order by, look at total spend. Can you see total spend? Look at this. Total spend. Total spend is being ordered in a descending order. So it means that those that had 113, the highest total spend are the ones higher. So 113, 81, 64, 31, and 30. So does that make sense now? So total spend is being ordered in descending order. Does that make sense? Yeah? Total that's order by is descending order. Like you say, when you order by, like you count 10, 9, 8, 7, 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's an order by descending order. When you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're ordering by ascending order. Now, if I did not put, again, remember from the last class, if I did not put a discerning here, this stuff here, by default, I ran this code. By default, the system will order this by what? Total spend, but it will be what? 30, 31, 64 by in ascending order. All right, I hope you got that. Order by. Group by is for example, take it like this. Every one of you went to the studio. Okay, every one of you bought from my shop. Every one of you bought from my shop. Those of you asking for the group where I share things, please ask the class on the Telegram channel. I can't help with those answers. Ask the class on the Telegram channel. No, Israel, it got to which of the videos? The one I shared, the last class, or the one I shared on the group? I shared a link on the group, Israel. Okay, let's continue. Please don't ask questions again. I could reshare the link for you guys to spend time with. Okay, I can't help now. I have to let those that are following me follow. All right, guys, let's not complain again. On the database, with a lot of read and write, where no replication is implemented, the query took a longer time than expected. I don't know what if we had a better way of speeding the query, probably indexing. Do you mean this query? Maybe not this query, because this query wouldn't take you long to run. It was very easy. You could see I ran it just on my system. So I'll be in class on Saturday, so you could bring that, let's see for itself. Okay, then group by. Now listen, we are in class. Every one of you have used, every one of you bought from my shop, meaning you came to my shop and you bought things. So every one of you bought things. Some of you came to my shop once, some came to my shop twice, some came to my shop 3 times, some came 4 times. Now, when I say group by student ID or group by delegate ID, what I'm saying is that I don't really want to go into the details of, let's say, Jamil bought, the first time he came to my shop was on Monday. He bought for $30. He came again on Wednesday and bought for $15. Then he came again on Friday and bought for $30. So I'm saying I don't want to bother about that. I want you to give me all that Jamiu bought, which will be 30, 30, 15, 75. I'm saying group by delegate ID. So if you look at this, look at the answer there, you will see that number of orders is 3. It means that this particular customer called Elena had 3 orders. Are you there with me? Now, again, you look at the total money he spent. From these 3 orders, he or she spent 30.72 naira or dollars, depending on what it was denominated as. And then from this money too, they bought 3, he or she bought 3 products. So you see, aggregating this at the level of the customer. So it's the aggregation at the level of the customer. I hope that got to you. Okay, I hope it did. Again, I want to firmly recommend. I'm not talking about because the video we had in class, even though we explained a lot of things, but we couldn't finish everything for that Saturday. So what I did was that I created a video for you guys and asked you guys to go look at that video. It was just a 30 minutes video. 30 minutes. Lots of things were locked up in that video for that class. So let's go into another stuff today. All right. The next thing we are going to talk about is we've been looking in details about how to read. Remember I told you about the CRUD operators. So we've looked at how to read and we use select to read. Now we're going to go and talk about how to read from a database. How to insert into a database. Now, you see, very, very often than not, you guys are not supposed to be inserting things into a database. Yeah, it's not really your job, but it's good that you know. As an analyst, it's good that you know how to do it, because much of what you will be doing is reading from a database, which is why you see we've spent the first 3 classes or 1.5, 2.5 classes just discussing read alone. Yeah. Now, let's go into talking about how to insert things into a database. It's a very simple code. Look at it. The first thing is, what database do you want to insert? So we want to insert something into what? Look at this. Is the customer database that we've been using all the while. We want to insert a new customer into that table. So let's go to it. That table is in SQL store. So I'm going to go look for that table. Let me go look for it. Refresh this. Oh, for some reason, I don't know why my system is acting up, but whatever reason it is acting up won't stop us from doing what we have to do. So let's do this. Let's explore the table. Let's not let that deter us. All right, so cool. This is it. So let's look at what that table holds. Where do you get? Okay, why am I going to get it? Okay, yeah, that's it. Now, let's look at what that table holds. Now, the table SQL store, look at it. See what it holds. Customer ID, first name, last name, birthday, phone number, address, city, state, point. Point. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is, even though my system is acting up at the moment, go to your SQL store. All of you go to your SQL store. Go to this place called tables. Open it. Go to your SQL store. Go to this place called tables and open it. When you open it, just click on it. You're going to see all the tables, all. One of the tables you are going to see there is, okay, if you give me some time, I can do this again. Just 1 second. I'm going to restart this and then we'll do it again. Just so that you see what I'm talking about. All right, cool. Look at this. Tables. Can you see it? Tables. Now, where are we? I want to check this table called customer. Look at this table. I want to view it. I want to really know what is happening there. Click on this box. Can you see the third box or icon on the right of table? You could just click on it once. You see, sorry. Yeah, this is what I want. Sorry, the second icon, not the third, second icon. We cannot view the commands as well, depending on what commands. Okay, so please, the display is faint. SQL is generally faint. Guys, open up your system, and keep the view on. I'm on a second system, so I'm viewing everything I'm sending across. I'm streaming across. Put your YouTube on a full screen, and you would be so clear what I'm trying to do. Now, if you look at this table that we have been exploring called customer table, look at it. You see, this customer ID is what they call a primary key. And for those of you who have gotten around to do the work I asked you guys to do about learning about normalization, I can bet you it will profit you a lot. For those who have not gotten around to do it, I got a friend of mine to discuss it because he loves talking about that area of data. And then I'll share the link with you guys before the end of Sunday. Yeah, because he's done, but I needed it to be edited. But if you find time, please go and study normalization. It will enrich your journey. Yeah. So look at this, my friends. Customer ID, first name, last name, all the what do you call it? All the fields in that table. Look at them. Yeah. If you look at this, it tells you that this is a primary key. And then it tells you that one is auto increment. You see, this AI means auto increment. It means it increments itself on its own. The system does not need you to put a value there. Does that make sense? The system can put that value for itself. All right? Now, and it's a primary key, meaning that it must be unique. So no two people will have the same of that number. Yeah, okay, perfect. Now, no, yours is not fetching. I said use the second icon that looks like a spanner. Yeah, click on it to bring you to this place. Now, you see what you call NN. NN there means not null, not null. What does not null mean? Not null means that you cannot leave that field null. You see, when you are filling a form, you often find some forms where they say asterisk, means you cannot leave this one null. So you need to understand at least the first, the second, and the last part of every data you're about to impute. So what this means is that this one is not null, means you cannot leave it null. You can leave date null, you can leave this other one null, you can leave what can you leave null? Birth date, you can leave that null, you can leave phone number null, but you see the other ones, you can't leave them null. So if you understand that, then come back with me and let us do something together. Now, since you now understand that, I wanted to put something into this place. So what did I do? Look at that table one more time. The first thing on that table is what? Look at it, customer ID. So I can as well put default, meaning system, I give you the power to put something there. That's what default means. The system, I give you power to put something in there. Do as you like, because you can auto increment. All right. Now, the next thing there is what? First name. Second thing is last name. So first name, last name, birthday. So let's go. I put a first name there called Lawal, a last name of Onose, a birthday of what? 1990. So let's go again. What's the next thing that we have there? The next thing we have there is phone number, address, and city. So I come around, I put phone number. You see, phone number, what did I put? No. Why did I leave it as no? Because the system told me that this one I can allow no. The system told me it could allow no. So if I don't put something there, the system will not shout at me. Okay? So I gave it no. Put address, I put city, put the state, and the last one again was what? Let's see what the last one was. Points. The system again told me that it can allow what? Null, and it can auto give it a value. So by default value means I can, if you don't give it a value, I will give it a value of 0. I hope this makes sense. So now watch this. I'm going to come here and I'm going to select this. I will run it. Now, if I run what I did, you see, it has checked it, meaning what you did is correct. Now, if I want to see if what I did is really correct, you know, I click that thing twice. So it will give that value twice. Now look, I can come here, select this, and run it. Now watch. When I run this stuff, scroll down to the end. You see, because I clicked on it twice, you have Lawal Onose, same birthday, same address, same city, same state, but different customer ID, because the system gave it an incremented value, and all values are unique. Now, let's try something. Instead of giving it a default value here, let's give it a value, say, because there is already a 9 here, I'm going to try giving it a value of 9. Let's change the guy's name to what? Robin Hood. Robin Hood. Now, if I select this and I run, the system will reject me. Watch this. You see, it gives me an error. Can you see the error sign? It means I'm not going to execute this. Because this number is already taken, I cannot go against that system. Now, but if you give it a number like 27, which we know is not taken yet, then we selected these and the system will allow Robin Hood to go. You see, it checks it here, means a good script. So if you select this now and run it, scroll down, you're going to find a new guy there called Robin Hood. We just inserted a full row right now. If you want to insert a full column, it's a longer process. And yeah, it's not something that you should actually be able to go and do as a beginner analyst. Nobody should expect that from you. Yeah, okay. But there's a way to go around your Marachi. It's a good question, but I wouldn't want you to go and break your head trying to think about that, because that's too much for you for now. Yeah. Okay. I hope you understood up to this. Now, again, if you count how many entries or how many fields are here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that will be exactly the same number with the what? Number of expectations from this customer table. Look at the customer table. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, stay with me. If for any reason, let's say you remove one of these, so you have 8 now instead of 9, and let's give it a new name. Let's call it pass guy. Let's make it come from Tennessee. Now we select these and we run. The system will shout, meaning I don't know how to what? Put it. Yeah. So the system is worried because it can't understand how to align 8 stuffs into 9 columns. So please pay attention to the number of things you are putting. Yeah. Now, but let us say, my friends, that you don't want to, because you know that the very first one here was default, meaning the system knows how to take care of itself. You know that, Abi? Again, we know that this one, which is phone number, the system does not really care if I put it. So you see, default and allows null, and default means the system can worry for itself. Okay? So I want to pay attention to only the ones that the system will complain. You know, when you go to fill forms, you look for the ones they start because you don't want to waste your time. And the one that is important is first name, last name, birthday, address, city, and state. So what did I do? Look at the way I wrote. I rewrote the same code in a different way. I said insert into this database or this table in this database. These fields are the ones I am worried about. So I opened that brace, closed it with the number of fields I want to talk to. Now I put only for those ones. Abdul Lawan, give him a birthday. No, what should be null? So first name is here, birthday is here, address, no, you don't need this null here. So address, I want to call it 56 address 222. City, I will call it 1 city 22. Then we use So city, I've gotten city. Then let's have state. Then we don't need this one. If you look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things going into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. Clear? Now, if you select these and then you run this, what did you see? It has accepted it. You see, it checks it. Look at the last script there. Means, okay, how can we check? Abdul Lawan. Let's look for the guy. So if I select these and run this code, go and check inside customer, you would see that there's a new guy on the block called what? Abdul Lawan. Now, stay with me, my friends. You know that we did not put customer ID because we allowed the system to what? Decide that. The system wanted to decide that. And what did it do? Yes, you can include more than one row at a time. Yes, we're going there. We're going there. The system wanted to include the next thing. What did the system do? The system went ahead towards start from the biggest customer ID and added one to it. Auto incremented that one. Why? It doesn't want to increment 12. By the time it comes to 27, you will have a problem. So it jumps to the highest number and increments that. Okay. Again, with that is advanced. It's called memory management, but we will not talk about it. Yeah. Understand the ones you're working on. Okay. Okay. So you have seen with me two ways you can insert into a table. Let's take a step further and do what my friend was pushing us to do, which is inserting into multiple rows in a table. So let's try inserting into the shippers table because it's a very small table. So I'm going to do it very easy. So, all right, this is the shippers table. It has the shipper's name, ID, and it has the shipper's name. We can find it here. Come. Let's look at it from here. Come quickly. Let's see it here. So open this. Let's see what it looks like. Again, you can see there's an auto increment in where? The shipper's ID. And then it's primary code. So we can allow that to do itself. All right. So let's go and explore what we can do with this. Okay. So now that we have been able to look at that, let's see what we can do. Shipper's ID, shipper's name. Now, there are two ways we can insert into this shipper's table. So the easy way is we just say insert into shippers values. Each row, Felix, what you were asking, this is row 1. This will become row 1. This will become row 2, you are inserting. This will become what? Row 3. So basically, what you are doing is you are everything that row 1 will need, you put it in a brace. Put a comma. Everything that row 2 will need, you put it in a brace and put it in a comma. Now, if you run this code now, just run this code and say, let's see where it takes us. So now that you've run the code, you may want to go and check what you have in there. Select this. Can you see that grad 1, which is what we ran earlier? Look at it there. Grad 1, car 2, and cake 3 got in there. Now, and if you did this, you see default. If you just did this, you would have run into an error. It means you did not put the right number of what fields into the stuff. So if you had done this without this default, you would have run into an error. All right, good. Now stay with me. But there is a cheaper way to write this. Again, in the cheaper way to write this, we can use, say, insert into shippers name. Where did we get the name from? The field we want to go into. So we will now say values, shipper 1, shipper 2, shipper 3. Now, if there are many more things, you can say, if there are many more fields, if this table had more fields, just put comma, put all the fields you are dealing with. And then here you also add commas inside here. Put all the values for those fields you are dealing with, and it will all go in. Okay? Is there any questions so far? Because we're good with inserting into a table. Now, you could as well insert using a condition. So you could insert into, okay, now, insert does not use conditions, update that uses conditions. Sorry about that. So, this is how you insert. And I hope you understand how to insert. For those who were saying it was not step by step, I hope you can appreciate that everything has been step by step today, and it has always really been. So you've been the one who has not been with us, in step with us. Okay, should we look at one more thing? We still have some time. Let's look at one more thing. Now, take for instance, that something was imputed to the database wrongly. So you want to update, make correction. That's the word, update, make correction. I noticed most of the time that what? Okay, so let's say, look at this. I'm going to play with this. And guys, I hope you remember that we have largely been working with the SQL store database, because instead of us running around manually, we're just on one, trying to gain mastery. Okay, so this is where we are, products. We have product names, so there are 10 products in this database. But we want to change something. What should we even change? We want to change the name of one of these meals. Let's change this one here, this guy here. These are very French. These are very French names. So pardon me if I can't pronounce them. Petites, whatever. All right, so let's go for it. Or let's go with longhand. Let's change the one on number 9. So we're going to say update products. Update product. What is product? The table. Set name as what? New meal. This is the name you want to change it to. And then change also the quantity in stock. So we're going to change this quantity in stock. Again, don't forget that this thing is a comment, so I can as well remove it. Where product ID is equals to what? 9. So that's simple enough, is it? Yeah, you're saying change this one and that one, where this one is equals to 9. Yeah. Now, if we select these and run it, why are you closing everything? Okay. Okay, for whatever reason, it's working though, don't worry. If you want to see it, let me just open it up for you. That's it. So you look at this, it shows you here that it ran, it's checked. But if you want to see it for yourself, I'm going to select this, run this. Look at that. It was number 9 we dealt with. Look at it. You see, number 9 is what? New meal. And quantity in stock is equals to what? 99. I hope you can see what I'm saying. Okay. Now, you see, this was straightforward. But I want you to know that you should think flexibly about the use of things. And I'm sure, trust me, you will meet with some issues. Even in class, you've seen that sometimes I run into some issues and I have to rethink them to find out where I missed the way. It happens to the best of us, trust me. So sometimes you might even need to reshare your script with someone to even show you where you got it wrong, because you might be looking at the script and right before you and you can't even figure out where you got it wrong. Yes, it happens. It does, trust me. Okay, now let's say that I want to take this off and bring this in. So what I'm saying is set name as what? New name as what? Base Unimil. And then set quantity in stock as what? It is called, you are doing a computation. So can you update without having to start transaction? I don't know what you mean by that statement though. Maybe you rephrase your question. So this is called a computation. meaning that I used another field like unit price, and then multiplied it by something to get the value of another field. So I said, update these, set these as unit field where product ID is equals to what? 7. You can run this. If you run that, you should be able to, it has gone again. So you can see that it ticks me green, meaning that, all right, you can now come and view it for yourself. Select this, run it, and then let's go to 7 and see where the journey has taken us. See, number 7, unit base meal, and that, my friend, is 3.2 times 5 is 16. Okay. Now, let's play with another conversation. And if you don't mind, guys, if you give me an extra 5-10 minutes after your time, I will appreciate. Yeah, so we might just close a bit later, if you don't mind. But if you don't, we can continue on Saturday. Okay. Now, you see, if you look at these conditions of where was actually just equals to something. There are times when where is not equals to. So it's a broader, deeper thing. So I'm going to take this where off and bring in this where. We're going to change this as bad meal. So we're saying that the meal was given to us and the quantity, we can do anything upon it. I don't really care about it. Or let's set quantity to be equals to what? 100. Where product ID is equals to what? 1, 4, and 5. So for all product ID equals to 1, 4, and 5, that, that product should be called bad product. Yeah, so product 1, 4, and 5, we want to change their name to what? Bad product. Yep, so let's set this out. Select this, run this. If you run that, it ticks us, meaning we did well. No issues. Got that? Same thing too. You can as well come here, select this, run it to see where it takes you. So 1, 4, and 5. The quantity in stock is 100, whereas the names have become what? Bad product. Okay, so you've seen how we've been able to play with the update statement. It doesn't stop here. We can play a bit more. Again, I'm going to take this off, this where, and I'm going to bring in a new where. My friends, can you see what I just did? It's called a sub-query. It's a query in a query. I think I was playing around this afternoon in the group and I asked the guy who was explaining some stuff to me and I said to him, add a sub-query to that stuff. Yeah. Again, this is actually like a query in a query. So what did I say? Select product ID. So this query will start from here. This query will start from here, from the sub-query. Yeah? So I said select product ID from other items. What am I trying to do? I'm going to show you. Where quantity is 5. Now, you can, don't break the bank. Just copy this thing. Paste it here. Select it, run it. So there is a product ID called 6. What am I trying to do? There is you can remove this if you don't want to. You can take this off and use this. So there is a product ID, there is a quantity, there is a particular product. There is a particular product that the quantity that they bought that product was 5. There is a particular product that the quantity that they bought was what? 5. You remember? You understand that? Yeah. Cool. Now, we're saying look for that product. This is from where? Another table entirely, other items. So go to that other items, go to all the other items table, the table that carries all the items that we want, that people can order from. Check for the item that has what? Only 5 quantities. This can help you to manage inventory. Does that make sense? So you're saying, go and check my inventory. Any inventory lower than 100, pull those ones. Now, when you pull those ones, so it will pull the product ID for all the products that are less than 100. Let's even use this, less than 5. So that you appreciate it more. So we're saying any product in the inventory less than 5, pull their product ID, because we need to update, we need to refill right now. So they pulled it for you, and you now said, okay, now you see this thing will be a problem now, because there will be more than one, there may be more than one product ID that is less than 5. So you cannot use equals to again. So what you might have to use there is in. Are you there? Because more than one product will be less than 5. Now, you're now saying update those products. Update product and set it as what? Let's call it this time around today products. Today products. And set their quantities as 100. I'm nesting one thing in another thing. Select this and then run this code. It has done that for you. You can see it ticks us red and green. I'll select this or play with it. Let's look at it. Today's product. Let's see how many we got there. So literally so many things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. There were 6 products less than 5. So there were 6 products less than 5. So that worked for us perfectly. Now, if we had said, go and check the ones equals to, if we used equals to here, then it will be only one product ID that might come out. So if it is only one product ID that will come out for something, you can use the equals to here. 2. But if it's more than one IDs that will be generated, use the in function. All right. I guess you understand how to deal with what? Order, updating. So I've shown you how to update single tables. I've shown you how to update multiple tables using nested functions. So we can actually say we've done a good job looking at updates. All right. Stay with me. I think I have one more thing to show you. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show you is, let me take it from the updates table. So from the update, from the products table, I'm going to take something from the product table, and then we're going to do that. Yeah. Okay, so stay with me, guys, just a minute and I'll be done. Okay, now watch this. There you go. These are all our products, but I want to delete product ID. I want to delete from products. So from this table, I want to delete what? From this table, I want to delete everything where, stay with me, I'm doing something. Quantity in stock. quantity in stock equals to 100. So I'm deleting everything from product where quantity in stock equals to 100. You see, all these hundreds are going to go. So I'm selecting this and I'm running it. There's a mistake there. So let's see where our mistake comes from first. Check for spelling. First and foremost, check for spellings. Okay. Yeah, I can see one of the reasons why this might not work. I'm going to change this and flip it around, and I'll tell you why. Let's go with product ID. Product ID is unique to this product table. If you use 4 here, it's unique to the table. 100 is not unique. So the system is afraid you will make a mess of what is going to happen. And I'm going to run this, and that should go. That did not go still, so it means we have a problem. Select from product, delete from product. One thing, delete from product where product ID is. Why don't you go? Hold on. Cannot delete or updates a parent row from a foreign key. Okay. Product ID cannot be a foreign key here. Okay. It can't be a foreign key here. All right, hold on. I'm going to come back to this. Let me just run it through my mind. Don't stay with me yet. I don't want to. So delete and drop. Is it not the same thing? No, you delete rows, but you drop tables. Now, I will come back here right now in a bit. Just 1 second. Before you go ahead with this one last thing I want to show you guys. Please remember, for those of you who are very good with my SQL server, yeah, for those of you who are very good with my SQL server, you would find this very easy. This will work for you very fast. But for those of you who have a problem, who are using MySQL, this code might not run for you. Yeah? So allow me to quickly just show you something, then I'll go back to delete. So if you're going to make this code work for you, you have to go to this place, edit, preference, yeah, and then query editor, SQL editor here. Scroll down, check. On yours, you will have this place called Save Update. It means the system by default wants to keep your update safe. Yeah? But once you uncheck this place, and then say, okay, like on mine is unchecked because I use it often, and then say, okay, your system will work. But before it does work, you will have to remember to save all that you've done. Yeah, close it. Close your MySQL. That's what I mean. Just 1 second. I'm trying to close my own. 1 sec. What's wrong with you, young man? Okay, I for some reason, I don't know why it's not closing, so I wouldn't be bothered. But you have to close yours and restart your system. Yeah? You have to close yours and restart your system before you come back to it. All right. Having said that, let me go into delete product. Now, what I see here, it's let's go to this product table. That's the only way we'll be able to figure out what the problem here is. So look at tables. Let's see the table called product. No. Why is it not opening? Columns, nullable, set auto, running. 1 second. Font keys, indexes, okay. Primary. Okay. Before insert partitioning. All right, there's something I may need to figure here. I'll drop it on the group. That code is very correct. There's no other code for delete. I just need to be sure there is something that I'm not seeing happening. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. There's something I can't see at the moment, but that code is absolutely correct. Okay, I could try one more. I could try one more thing just to show you how correct that code is. Just give me 1 second and I'll try one more thing. But that code is absolutely correct. It's so correct and I'm so sure. Okay, let's see this. You can try it at home. Guys, feel free to try it at home. I want to try one more now. Select where, select from this where customer ID. Yeah. SQL store. Dot. Okay. All right. I hope you can see that worked. Delete SQL store.customer where customer is this ID of 4. I selected that. It worked. So if you go in here, so there's something around the way that other one was configured I need to figure out. If you ask me in class on Saturday, I'll tell you what happened. So if you look at this now, there is no customer ID. Yeah? There is no customer ID with ID of 4. I hope you understand what I'm saying. There is no customer ID with 4 because that's exactly how to delete. Yeah? So delete where an ID is equals to something. So what I believe has happened is that there is a setting on this one that has blocked us from being able to see what is happening there. I'll check it out before midnight today. Okay, thank you very much, Jamil. I think you're saying the read-only data wouldn't let us allow delete. Yeah, I'm suspecting that there is that table is only carrying foreign keys. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but I would dig into it later. Okay. So someone is asking, what is the difference between MySQL and SQL Server? So SQL Server is a Microsoft product. MySQL, which is the one we've been using, is an open source application that stores data also. They do the same jobs owned by different companies, similar to Power BI versus Tableau. Yeah, I think I've answered that question now. Okay. David Usman, I am not the class rep. Speak to the class rep for the link of the group we've been dropping things. Yeah, ask the class rep, they will give you all that you need. I want to select all, change font size and style. No, that's not, you're not looking for a designer's class, Barnabas. You're looking for data. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. See you on Saturday in class. All things being equal, see you on Saturday in class. I hope you got something out of today's session. Have a good time. Bye.